It is time for less roosters, more chickens, and some chickshaw. Through this fence you can probably see a few young pullets behind me, and we'll get to those soon, but first I want to talk about less roosters. Our friend John Shepherd from the Shepherd Ranch, from whom we purchased our chickens, was here for a visit a few days ago. He was here to see our American guinea hogs, and we were looking at the chickens together, and I mentioned to him about our abundance of roosters and how our Ameraucana rooster is just exceptionally noisy. I mean, this guy would squawk and squeal all day long. He was terrorizing all the other hens. And I also mentioned how our Rhode Island red rooster was really goofy. I know this is not something that we've shared with you guys yet, but I've been watching him over the last couple of weeks to see if I wanted to keep him for breeding purposes. And he is a goofy rooster. When he walks, he waddles real funny, like he's got something wrong with his legs or his feet. And I know chickens aren't known for their intelligence, but this guy was particularly dull. And all the hens were beating up on him. He just was not good rooster material. I mentioned these things to John, and John said, I can help you dispatch them right now and we can resolve this conflict. I think the Ameraucana rooster was really aggravating him too, because it was just squawking like crazy. So I checked with Ashley to make sure she was okay with us changing our plans for breeding this spring, and she was. So both the Ameraucana rooster and the Rhode Island red rooster became pig food. These pigs could not have been any happier with their mid-afternoon snack. They were ecstatic over it. Did you like those roosters, Piggy? Yeah? What's neat about feeding them to the pigs is they eat the bones, the feathers, they ate everything. They were just like, there were a few feathers left behind in their pen that they just didn't get to, but they ate 99.9% of both birds, no waste. Despite exporting a couple of our roosters, our chicken population has increased dramatically. We got our Cornish cross meat broilers. They're here in our stock tank brooder in our garage right now under the heat lamps. And we have this leftover cork flooring that we put on top to kind of keep some of the wind off of them when the garage door is open when we're working outside. We ordered 25 of these guys. They were shipped on a Tuesday. We didn't get them until Friday. They were in the mail for 3 days, and one of those days was a particularly warm day. The last batch we got with the Cornish Roosters and the Freedom Rangers, they came in 2 days, and they came fine. This batch had one dead chick in it, and then another that seemed to be pretty injured. Its leg was broken, so I had to put it down. And since then we've had, I think, 2, maybe 3 more chicks from this batch die. They have been clearly less hardy than the Cornish Roosters or the Freedom Rangers we got. Part of it may have been due to that they were in shipping longer, and the weather conditions in which they were shipped were a little bit more difficult. Here are the older broilers out in the outdoor brooder we built them. These guys are just about all feathered out and ready to go out on pasture in a chicken tractor. The only problem is I don't have the chicken tractor quite finished yet. Now it's time to talk about these guys, our new pullets.
Today we're at the Shepherd Ranch and we are going to add to our chicken flock.
What chickens are we getting?
We don't know. Whatever ones, well, you say whatever ones I want.
Which ones do you want?
I don't know yet. We'll see. Probably more copper morans. Maybe an ayam cemani. Add a little diversity. We have enough Americanas. I just learned that. So we got 12 chickens and they range in age from about 8 weeks to what looks like about 16 weeks, maybe even a little bit older. We were only intending to get about 6, but they were really cute and some of them are close to laying. So we got 3 Rhode Island red hens that should be probably laying within the next month or 2. They're pretty big. And we got several black and blue copper morans, which we love. We got 1 lavender Americana. We already have 2. They're really cool looking chickens and they're nice. And then we splurged a little bit and got 2 ayam cemanis. They're these super rare Indonesian chickens. You can probably see one of them here. They're all black and their interiors are all black too. So apparently they have black meat, black bones. We're not going to eat ours because, like I said, they're kind of rare, kind of not cheap, but a fun novelty. So we like them. They're nice. I've already held several of them, and we'll see how things go.
The pullets that were on the bigger side, we had in the Chickshaw last night. They integrated just fine. There's a little bit of pecking going on this morning as the hens were integrating them into the flock, which is to be expected. We have also these little guys that look like they had just feathered out. And we have them hanging out in the chicken crib that we built last summer. The chicken crib is a Justin Rhodes design, and it's designed where the smaller pullets or the chicks can get in through these slots, but the larger hens cannot. So the chick feed, the starter and grower feed can be kept in there, so the older hens can't get it, the babies can, and they can also get refuge in here in case they're getting picked on by the older ones. You guys doing okay in there? They're just hanging out. In other news, we got the Chickshaw in action. I made a slight modification to it. I replaced the plywood with some extra 1x12s that we had lying around from a project that we scrapped earlier. The reason why I wanted to swap it out is plywood has a lot of formaldehyde in it. It's got a pretty good concentration of toxic material, so I didn't really want my chickens in physical contact with it, so I swapped it out with the pine board. With the recent culling of the roosters, the chicken flock is doing much better. There's a lot less stress going on. They're much more relaxed. The chickshaw is in action. We're ready to deploy that on pasture soon. We're ready to get our meat birds out on pasture. The chicken situation here in the grass-fed homestead, doing pretty good.